Templates are one of the most powerful tools in the productivity toolbox, capturing that recurrence and that reusable work. And now, with the AI commands that are available in Tana, it is possible to set up your tasks in a project template so that when you use the template, all of the dates that are associated with those tasks can be automatically set. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in this video. So this is my actual Tana workspace. This is where I've been working, as I say always in my courses when I do live demos and things like that. You can ignore the chaos of my own iteration. I think things will be fairly clear, but I'll point you to the things that are important. So here's a good example. I have a newsletter I call Weekend Upgrade, comes out every 2 weeks. There's a set of tasks that I want to schedule as soon as I start a new weekend upgrade. So let's imagine I'm going to create something here. We'll call it Weekend Upgrade. We'll say 36. I think 35 is actually next, but just for the sake of it. And I have a super tag called Weekend Upgrade. And that super tag creates the next sequence or the next newsletter when I call that up. So what you'll find is that I have in here, as part of this, something called template tasks. And within template tasks, I have a few tasks that are already set up here. They're not set up as tasks because I don't want them arriving in any of my in any of my filters or anything like that, or queries is what I mean to say. But what I've done is I've created a little super tag offset, and offset allows me to put with each task a date calculation that is based on a reference date for the release of my newsletter in this case, or for whatever key date or reference date you need for your own project. And so 9 days before the release of the newsletter, I want to set the topic and make the first pass at the next weekend upgrade. And then 4 days before, I want to make sure it's fully outlined. And 3 days before, I want to post something on Twitter to let people know that it's what it's going to be about and maybe get some more subscribers, that kind of stuff. And then the day of, 0 day, we'll polish and send the weekend upgrade. And now, just mechanically speaking, when I'm doing a weekend upgrade, once I've done the first pass, there'll be another set of tasks that are just me working along on the newsletter itself. These are the tasks that are the benchmarks that make sure that nothing slips by. If I happen to, go a few days without working on it, these will catch me and make sure that I get back on track with it. So you see a little button up here. It says Create and Schedule Template Tasks. I can't run this until, it says here, and this is a note to myself, I have to schedule the reference date in the project first. So this is the reference date up here. Notice it's not a date field, and that's because I'm going to format it in 4-day year, 2-day month, 2-day day in order to set this up. So we'll say that the reference date is Friday, May 19th. So I've now set that up for Friday, May 19th. When I click this button, and actually let me just go ahead and open these up for you so you can see the magic happening here. I'll get the first 4 open. I'll see more than the first, 3 really. Okay, so when I click on this, it's going to change all of these to template tasks, and template tasks come along with their own reference date, which will automatically grab this reference date from up in the project. And then it'll take away the offset, but the template tasks includes date offset, so that'll just transfer to the other super tag. And then it'll use the AI to do a little math for us. Watch it happen. And you can see it's now a scheduled task for Wednesday, May 10th, which is indeed 9 days before the release. And it's scheduled to make current update is outlined for Monday, May 15th. Twitter, Tuesday, May 16th. Wednesday, May 16th for drafted, and then the final one, the release, Friday, May 19th. So you can see all of those worked correctly. They're all scheduled. If I wanted to, with the set of commands that was in this button, I could delete reference date and date offset from the mix by turning them to regular tasks, or just turn them into hidden fields if I didn't want to see them. But it's not that big of a deal. They're there. They're not going to hurt anything by being there. Let me show you then. I have a project dashboard. And in that project dashboard, they have a calendar for the schedule, you can see there they are sitting on the schedule. These are the tasks related to this project scheduled out on the calendar. They will show up in my agenda queries that I have on the appropriate days, so I'll know when I need to do them. And if I want to, because this is now a calendar view, this isn't related to the preset, but if I'm like, hey, you know what, actually I want to do this on the 11th instead, I can just swap them over to the 11th. So you can very quickly, if you have this kind of a view set up, you can very quickly double check and make sure everything set correctly. Okay, well, let me delete this because I don't want this actually living in my system. And let's build one from scratch so you can see kind of the idea here. Let's say we want a course launch template. Now, first of all, when I create my templates, I use super tags for that. So we'll call this course launch. And when I do create a super tag for these things, for a template, a project template, I extend two things. I extend project, which gets me all my project tags with my dashboards and such, and I extend project template, which gains me my reference date that you saw there, and it also gains me my template tasks field you saw me use. So now that has both of those in there, and we'll just say this is for our video demo. When I open this up now, I'll have everything you just saw in the weekend upgrade, with the exception of some of the things that are specific to the weekend upgrade. But if I want to create a few tasks in here that will fire, you can see I have my area for scheduled tasks and I have an area for other tasks. So anything I want pre-scheduled, I'm going to include here. This node is pre-populated in order to, configured, I should say, in order to create an offset every time you do that. You'll notice that automatically tagged offset when I indent it underneath here. So we'll say this should be 3 days before launch, and we'll set the offset to -3, and then we'll say this should be 1 day before launch, and we'll set the offset to -1, and then we'll say, oops, sorry. Then we'll say this should be the day of launch. We'll set the offset to 0. This should be 1 week after launch. And remember, this is in days, so I'll set the offset to 7. This should be 11 days after launch. And we'll set the offset to 11. Okay, so this is all set up in there. Anytime you're creating your own template, you can do this immediately with this process. So let's say this is a launch that I want to do on, let's say sometime in the middle of June. Let's say June 15th. Okay, I have to set it here because, again, the tasks are going to draw from this. So when I click this button, this is going to pull that in down here. And let me open them up again. Let me open up 3 days before and 1 week after, just so we can see those both happening. Okay, when I click this, you'll see these things take off here. All right, so 3 days before should be the 12th, and as you can see, there it is on the 12th. A week after should be the 22nd, and it is. That worked correctly. 1 day before should be the 14th. The day of should be the 15th. And 11 days after should be the 26th. And as you can see, every one of those worked correctly. And if we want to see them on the calendar, we can hop out here and automatically went to the right month where they are. And there they all are scheduled on the calendar. If that looks like something that you could make use of, Tana for Tasks 2, which is my upgrade to my Tana for Tasks course. This is coming out the week of May 21st of 2023. You are able, if you're watching this before that week, there's a 25% discount. The link to that is down in the description. This will not only show you how to build it in that course, I'll just give you the template. So you have it, so you can build this yourself, or rather, so you can have it and not have to build it yourself, is what I'm saying. And I'll show you how it works and all of that too. If that's all you want, you just want a template, you can stop watching the video right now. If you'd like to see how this works under the hood, let me keep you for just a moment and I'll show you how this is built, and you can fiddle around with building it yourself. So all that's happening here is actually surprisingly not that complicated. So if I go to the project template tag here, and we have ourselves a look at this template tasks, you can see we have under template tasks, we have this create and schedule template tasks. So nothing is actually happening at the level of the project template supertags. See, the no commands are down in here. But this is a quick way. If I command click on the button for the template, it'll open up the configuration of the command, not the template, the command. So this only command in here at the top level is run commands on all children. So we've set up some commands that will operate on anything that is indented under scheduled tasks. And so edit configuration. The commands that it's running are add tags. The tag it's adding is template task. Remove tags. The tag it's removing is offset. And then my AI prompt. And the AI prompt it starts like so. And actually, the reason it looks like this is that I have it. I have that prompt living somewhere else and referenced in here. It was probably better when I had it a little over like this, so I'll just do that. So when I had it living in another place and it's referenced in here, what that allows me to do is I can change it and work with it in a specific area without having to come all the way into the AI, Ask AI command to do it. And also I can use the same concept in more than one Ask AI command, okay? So if I open it up here, you'll see treat the rest of the prompt as code, follow it precisely. Your goal is create a task date using this format. I need this format because that's what will make it an actual date when it's sent back into Tana. For example, August 22nd, I give it a couple of examples here because it's great when you're working with the AI to give it examples. Then I tell it what's going to happen. I'm going to ask you to do some date calculation. The reference date we're using as the basis for the date calculation will be reference date. And remember, that's passed into template task. And the reason it's able to be passed in there is it is a field that is set to initialize to the value of a field in an ancestor. So that's why when we create it in project tasks and then we create these template tasks in another field indented under the project, that way it's just grabbing that automatically from the project. The day offset we use to create the task date is date offset days. So it'll give you that -1 or +5 or whatever. Your instructions are these. Generate a task date that is reference date offset by date offset days. Here are a few examples, and I give it some examples, and then I beg it only to respond with a task date. So it's not going to give it an answer. It's not going to include a description. It's only going to give the date. And you saw it work seamlessly for the couple of examples. But that's all that's living under the hood here. It's nothing super fancy. It's absolutely accessible if it's something you want to do for yourself. If you want to just hop into Tana for Tasks 2, you can purchase Tana for Tasks 1 right now at that 25% discount. You automatically get into Tana for Tasks 2 when I launch it here in a couple of weeks. And if you're watching it, I'm filming this on May 7th. So if you're watching it before the week of the 21st of May in 2023. But even if you're not, you can, I think, learn from the way that these commands are laid out, how you can build out what is really a very valuable tool. I'm already using it for 3 or 4 different things in my system, and I only built it yesterday. So it's very useful. It's something I've been waiting for a long time. Those of you who are former Roam users, perhaps, or even current Roam users might recognize I've done similar things in Smart Blocks before. This has been very valuable for me and kind of a blast from the past, building this. Very reminiscent of doing it with Smart Blocks in Roam. So hopefully this is valuable for you. If you'd like the template, hop into Tana for Tasks. The link will be down below. And I hope you can make use of this and improve your workflows in Tana.